we have to build a new ship to make it all the way to the Shattered Planet. Let's do a quick test run. How fast was that? Oh no, hang on, what happened here? Oh no, we're out of ammo. Yeah, well, that didn't work. We're just not producing ammo enough. Okay, this was a bit of a failed design, I think. Might send this one back to Narvis, and we'll have to try and build another one. A bigger one, a stronger one, probably with a bigger reactor in it. Here I am, having a look at all my ships as they travel across the whole star system. Currently on Aquilo, preparing myself a few railgun turrets, because we need to build yet another ship. This ship here, Apollo 13, did not work out yesterday at all. I'll admit it was a bit of a disaster. Mainly the problem was that we just weren't producing enough rockets. But today might be a different story. But now we've got a bit of a backup. I've let this thing run back and forth between Narvis and Gleba, and it's collected up a bunch of resources. So hopefully we can send it over now because the belt is completely filled up, as you can see. I don't think it's going to get very far, but I'm willing to chance it and let it fly. And we'll see just how far it does get, and maybe we can then bring home some goods to do some research with. So I'm going to send this over to Aquilo and park it there. In the meantime, Electric Boogaloo is on its way to Aquilo to pick up the last remaining railguns that I have on me. And then I'm going to head back to Narvis to build yet another ship. Speaking of, I should set up the new ship. Oh, and something I also wanted to do as well was set up a legendary requester chest to request my regular quality productivity modules, because we have so many of these that we absolutely cannot figure out what to do with, that I reckon we should probably just scrap them all and upcycle them into higher quality productivity modules. I've collected us up a few railgun turrets. We're going to be closing in on 100 of these things, which is hopefully going to be enough for our new ship design. We are definitely going to be gunning it hard this time around. And I just sent that to the wrong ship. Whoops. While that's going, we should not waste any time in sending up a new space platform. I don't know what this one's going to do or going to be called, so I'm just going to call it Untitled. We'll send that up. Let's send Apollo 13 into the abyss and we'll see how far it gets. Hopefully this will actually work this time. But at the slightest hint of damage, I'm going to be turning this ship around and heading back. A few things we've learned is we have a lot of wasted product. I need to try and not have that much wasted product, or we need to at least try and repurpose the rocks to be producing exactly what we need and not just whatever we set up. But so far so good. 374 kilometers per second and it's holding. The belts are still full, that's good. Are we still crafting? Yep, we're still crafting rockets, nice. We're at 30,000 kilometers, we're nearly to the solar system edge. Okay, these rocks are getting a little bit close for comfort, but it looks like we're okay. All right, in the meantime, I'm going to send our main ship back home so we can start building. We've got our new ship here that I need to start preparing some space for. Oh no, we lost some damage. No, it's possible it's going too fast. We made it to 36,000 kilometers and then it started taking damage. It's not good. Oh, okay, I see what's the problem. Wow, okay, that sucks. That genuinely sucks. So that's a critical flaw that I have in this thing. Was he just not picking up ammo quick enough? I'm a little confused by that. Possible we just don't have enough turrets as well. If this is a platform for Promethean, then it is better to make it wide. I kind of figured wider ships make it slower, but I could try that. That, or we just need to increase the girth. Is there a particular reason why wide makes it better? More collection, more space for guns. True. Okay, that makes sense. How's the belt looking? The belts are still looking fine. That's good. Oh, and then... Nah, okay, this thing cannot even make it. Wow. Interesting. Let's send this ship back home then. It's not going to make it. Okay, so what's different with this ship compared to this ship? I guess we just had more frontward turrets. Oh, we had a lot more gun turrets. That makes sense. Should be an easy fix. Yeah, this is just going to retire and become a hauler ship, I think. Let's get to building. All right, so on this new ship, this thing's got to be big, and I mean big. So maybe we double that even further. There we go. That looks nice and wide. Then we got to start figuring out what sort of layouts we're going to need. So the reactor could go up on the top side because not much needs to happen up there. And the rest of the meat of it can go down the bottom. Let's go a little overkill with this and grab our foundry block. This is probably way overkill, but we're going to do it anyway because it's funny. This is ridiculous. We're just putting a planet onto a ship. Looks like I haven't given us enough space. Let's move this across a little bit more. May I make a small suggestion? Legendary machines, modules, and beacons. Yes, that's probably going to be a good idea. Question is, how do I get legendary foundries? Concrete's the only thing I don't have access to. Legendary beacons, on the other hand, how do we get those? Oh, that's easy. I've got access to that right now. Can we do beacons in an electromagnetic plant? Oh, you can. Okay, sweet, sweet. Okay, cool. Let's plonk one of these down then. All right, here we go. Legendary beacons. In that case, we can dismantle all that. So if we did a regular foundry, and then if we do legendary beacons, what's a good layout for this? We did something like this, maybe? What's better, speed modules or productivity modules on the foundry? I imagine it's probably productivity modules. How many do we have? 19. No, we got more in here. Hang on. Can we get a rate calculation on that? 187.5. I don't know if that's taking into account the beacons or not. It's going to need iron ore and calcite. Iron ore and calcite comes from 2 different processes. Now, the layout we had earlier didn't quite work as well, and I think that's because I keep trying to operate on this lengthways, but we should try and do this by width. So if we grab our iron, filter, we need to filter out the rock, and then it needs to come back and loop around. What if we did something like this? Input priority is on this side, and then we pick up from here. So then any other iron ore rocks coming through here won't filter into this side to be collected until this belt is empty because we've emptied out all the excess spare rocks. That might work. This guy here can then filter for iron ore, and this inserter here can then filter for copper ore. And then we just need our beacons. So what's that going to produce us? If we grab our rate calculator, 2,756 iron ore per minute. How does that compare then to this? This is, consuming 3,000. Okay, so we need another one of these things. It's easy to do. So the next thing we need to do is deliver the iron. Yep, there we go. So that's going to be iron and calcite. Iron plates. We got steel. Iron plates are going to come out and form a bus. Copper's got to come onto a bus over here, leaving room for expansion, of course. Yeah, that's going to form the copper ore. Then this needs to turn into copper plates. There we go. So then the copper plates will come out. This is taking up a lot of space. This is going to be huge. Next thing we need is the calcite, of course. Okay, so the calcite, probably need to do the same setup here as over there. We need to get that calcite across. That'll work. Okay, we need to consider how much ammo we need to build. So we need to be producing a lot more than what we had, and we only had 1 rocket assembler. So here's a quick question. Are the regular rockets better or worse than the explosive rockets? Because on paper, this looks like it does less damage. I'm thinking of a little design, something like this. I think that's going to work as a tileable rocket ammo supply design thing. And then that could even form a bus of rocket ammo. If we copy this and flip it horizontally, could we even get this to work for piercing rounds magazines? I think we could. Oh, hang on, there's one more thing we forgot. Yeah, well, there's one more ammo type we forgot to make. And that is railgun ammo. And then for the regular ammo, we need to make out of iron plates. Pretty sure we can just manifold them. Yep, something like that will probably do. And then we do a quick little tunnel setup here. We should probably start thinking about power. We do a bunch of storage, and then we do up our little reactor setup. We could probably just copy the reactor setup from here, to be honest. This was really good. But then we upgraded these to rare quality ones. We'll see how that goes. Oh, he's moving so slow. You can do it, buddy. Come on, you can do it. Boom. You can see their little arms. They're just barely moving. That is hilarious. Okay, but that should eventually kickstart, especially once this fluoroketone comes in. Oh shit, hang on, no. Damn it. I had that in the wrong place. No. We need to then figure out what to do for explosives, because these things are going to be very hungry on explosives, especially the rockets. We need 1 explosive for each rocket, and we need 2 explosives for each railgun ammo. So if we come back down to Novice, we had a bit of an explosive setup going here. Could copy this. That's going to be a crazy amount of explosives. Then we need to get them water. We need to make water from somewhere. Probably even just do it over here. I reckon 8 of those will probably sort us good. Next, we need to make coal. Sulfur's easy. We could probably just copy this whole setup once again. We need carbon for 2 things, actually. We need to make fuel, so I need another one of these things. Our setup that we had over on Apollo 13 worked really well, so I'm actually just going to copy that. I was rather impressed with how well this worked. But then we can copy and upgrade all these beacons. Hopefully our arms can swing faster. Oh, we have the legendary arms, so if they don't swing fast enough, then we can always upgrade that. Then we can copy this, and I'll just paste it down here, I think. Change this recipe out for the fuel instead of the oxidizer. There we go. So that's all our modules. Oh, hang on, no, we still have to make the coal. Let's just copy this whole block. Replace all that, but then we can replace our chemical plant. Oh, sorry, we can replace the assembler with the chemical plant, and then we can just run a little pipe and then run the water over there. Yep, okay, this will work. Then sulfur comes on one end, carbon comes on the other end. That turns into coal synthesis. Yes, okay, that's our coal block. We need to detect when we're low on a particular rock type. You get a big bus of rocks and then filter this out so it's each of the rock types. Promethium asteroids definitely need to abort early. Yeah, these would all need to join up on a bus somewhere. Problem that I'm going to experience with this is that we're going to get something like carbonic chunks coming into here. Wait a minute. What if I did this? If this became our main bus, input priority goes on the right. They can loop back, and then we can trigger some reprocessors over here, let's say, that reprocess each of the rock types. Yeah, okay, this might work. So if we have each of the rock types coming in through here, and then we just turn these off when they're not needed, and then this can just keep sifting around in a loop. That might work. So if we connect these up, can we read the contents? Yeah, read contents, including crafting. If we have no rocks, no, hang on, read ingredients. No, hang on, read contents. We do need to read contents. So if we read what's in here, which is the oxide asteroid chunk, and we find a signal of 0, then we need to send a signal over to here to say that this guy here needs to turn back on. We probably need to do this with an arithmetic combinator first. We can say if the oxide is, I think it's an and. Yeah, so then if they've both got what they need, then this will be a value greater than 0. If it's not, then we're going to need to reprocess the ice. I think that'll probably do the trick. And then we just do the same thing for all the other types. Okay. Ooh. Oh wait, no, hang on. I've gotten this wrong. This turns oxide asteroid into everything else. Ooh. Man, this is doing my head in already. If these are empty, then I need to tell these two, and not the ice reprocessor, to fire. Oh, we could use an OR with another arithmetic. So if we get a signal for oxide asteroids or metallic, then we can turn the carbonic to start processing, and it'll turn carbonics into either of those 2 chunks. I think that might be it. How do we set up radars? Where's my radars? If we did a radar here, plugging this with a wire into this radar should then be able to receive that signal at this radar. If that works, then we can just use radars on this thing. I don't have to do big wire networks all over the place. Is this running yet? Oh, yes. Yes, it is. Nice. And we can produce up to 421 megawatts. Sweet. Okay. So we're sorted for power. What does rate calculator say we can do now from this block? 139,000. That's a lot better. Nice. So this thing should be receiving a signal. No, that's not. This should be outputting a signal. Why are you not outputting a signal? Both were attached with a red wire, so it was only one signal. It doesn't know there were 2 crushes. Oh! So I changed that to a green one. This one here on the left is now a decider. Okay, so I've wired that up. Okay, that might work. Unfortunate we can't just hook multiple of these up in a big chain, but I suppose we could just do multiple decider combinators. Let's get rid of that. Can we then wire this output up to the radar? Okay, we're receiving a signal. So then the output needs to say reprocess carbonic. Enable disable if reprocess carbonic is greater than 0, which it is. So he's waiting for source items. Okay, that might work. Wow, okay, that's complicated. Okay, that might work. Thanks for the pointers. Nice. All right, so the next thing we need to do is figure out where to put all this stuff. I'm thinking the rock reprocessing is probably going to go somewhere central. Ammo could possibly go up the top. We put it there. Grab this setup. Move this to the side. Then we grab our railgun. Move this over to the side. Something like that might work. Yeah, that's going to slowly creep up. And then we should have enough ammo to survive out here. Maybe. This is where we got to try and figure out where everything else is going to go. I think if we set this area up as our main rock holding area, Promethium can probably just sneak into here. Then we need to start forming some major buses. So there we go. I'm hoping this here is going to be enough, but we'll have no idea until we test it out. This is fuel. It's going to go on this side. This is also fuel. It's going to go on the other side. Now we need to build the thrusters. Yeah, it's possible I made this way too big, but we'll see, we'll see. I think we can just zigzag these. That's 14 thrusters. It's not 20 like we had before, but this will do. And we should probably produce the water down here. And we could even just make this symmetrical and move this to the other side. Then we need some fuel tanks, some fuel pipes. And then we need to deliver the fuel. This is where it's not going to be symmetrical, which is really upsetting. I don't think you can make the thrusters symmetrical because you can't flip them. What? I can't hear you. On a single floor, there's multiple. Alright. Now's the tricky part. Maybe we need to just get some rocks going in here first so we can test this. Yeah, okay, this is not symmetrical. There we go. We got little rocks, nice. So then we need to bring them down into this central area here. That's symmetrical? Yeah, okay, this thing is just a brick. How much storage space do we have in here? 3,359 stacks. That's pretty good. We could probably do with some more. Okay, that's now given us 4,259 stacks of storage. Then we need to start getting turrets onto this thing. We think that's enough? More! Yeah, that's probably going to be enough for now, at least for the front. We could angle these, actually. Oh yeah, that's nice and compact. I like that. What's that coverage going to look like? The guns must grow. This is ridiculous. I think we're on the right track to having enough guns. It might still not be enough. We'll see. This thing now weighs 3,000 tons. Okay, so that's going to be ammo going around. Oh, we got rocks. Look at that. We've got rocks. Then we get iron and copper. Nice. This can move all the way up. Now we need calcite. Then the calcite needs to join up with this group and then head back over. We need to bring the calcite up to the iron, but we also need to bring it down to the copper. Carbonic chunks need to come over to the carbonic chunk section. Yep, here we go. So that's going to come in through here, get turned into carbon and sulfur. Iron plates is splitting and going to head up there for ammo. Nice. This is going to split and head down to make fuel. There we go. And then we need the calcite to also come down. Yep, okay, that's going to form the calcite belt. Nice, nice. We should now be making fuel. There we go. Thruster oxidizer. Nice. Okay, how's everything going? Do we have molten iron? No, but we have made some iron plates, so that's good. Oh, and that's a lot of steel plates. So the steel plates and the iron plates now need to head up north. We have actually made firearm magazines, which is good. We also need the copper plates to head up north. Big, thick belts. Oh yeah, we like it. Then we need to get this ammo going, and then a tunnel, and that's going to form our red piercing rounds magazines. Nice. Next, we need the iron plates for the explosives. You could just do a splitter here. And then we need our explosives. We also need steel plates. Oh, and the copper needs to be used up to make copper wires. Okay, The copper needs to split, come to the side here, and this is going to make us copper wires. And this is going to come all the way around. Steel needs to conjoin with the explosives, so now we need to get the explosives going. This is a mess. Coal synthesis, that's what we need next. Carbon comes through here. Sulfur comes through here. Then we need to also bring sulfur into these machines, so this is going to get a little tricky. We also need to split off the carbon to make fuel. We're going to need some space here for sure. Oh no, this is getting too tight. Yep, this will work. This will work. Explosives are heading up this way. How have I goofed this badly? No, that's not where that needs to go. This conjoins with the copper. Oh wow, what a mess. Okay, and then the steel comes up here, heads around, then splits into here. That's better. That's what we want. Now I need to somehow get rid of all this mess. I wish we had a symmetry mode. I'm going to keep saying that, but I really do wish we had one. I think we could even subtract some of the girth. Oh, that's cool how that deletes. Yeah, let's get some rocket turrets. Let's get some rocket turrets up in here. Ah, but I see a new problem. Oh no. We don't have any space to run the other turrets, so I'm going to have to shift everything down. We should almost be ready for a quick test flight to see if the ammo production keeps up. There we go. There's some rocket turrets. Okay, we got some legendary turrets that I can stick on here. I have no idea if this is going to be enough gun turrets. Do we think that's enough guns on the front? It's just a big ramrod, isn't it? There we go. Just for some extra protection. Okay, we're going to run a belt all the way around here. This is going to be for the ammo. And then we can run it all the way back through here. Nearly ready. Oh, shoot. No. They're going for the factory. God damn. There we go. Lasered them down. Real brick, isn't it? We need some rocket launchers as well. Probably just situate a few of them around here. That'll probably do. We do need to be collecting rocks. Maybe we collect some rocks from in the middle pieces here. And probably need to be collecting from here as well. And we kind of just need all the turrets here, don't we? Okay, and then we need some tunnels to skirt underneath these things so that they can extract onto another belt. This needs to come all the way down here. We need to run the red magazine belt. Probably something like this. Somehow we've got to get all the way around here. How do we squeeze all this? This is the part of designing ships that I hate the most. It's trying to squeeze absolutely everything you can into a tight spot. That's questionable phrasing considering my track record of ship designs. There we go. Railgun ammo needs to join up with this belt here, and it needs to join up with the rockets. Where are our rockets coming from? Why do we have rocks on this belt? Oh, because of that. Okay, whoops. I'm gonna need some sort of strange arrangement to try and squeeze all this into the tight space that we have. Here, there we go. That's rockets. Rockets then need to join up with railguns. There we go. It looks kind of like a warhead, doesn't it? Do we think this is going to be enough? This might not explode. You gotta do that thing they do with ships. Smash the bottle on it. Let's make a save and let's take it for a spin. How are we going? Lasers are taking out some rocks for us. The lasers are doing all the work here. Oh my goodness. These belts are full. Whoa, wait, hang on. That's a problem. Oh crap. Something just made its way through. No, we lost some.